And welcome on in, everybody. It's Frogman here, King Pepe II. I'm going to bring you some Brown Dust 2 news. I actually just saw this late last night, in fact, but I didn't get a chance to do a video on it. I know it's been a while since I feel like it's been a while since I did a Brown Dust 2 video. The last one I did was the Story Pack 18. That it was a very long video, I know, but totally worth making. I had a lot of fun doing it, by the way, and I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But like I said, I had a feeling who was going to be next, and I was correct. It is going to be Apostle Callian or Apostle Olivier right now. So she is going to be released very, very soon. So here we go, guys. So we got the maintenance. We got the second half of the event story coming on up. It's called White Sorrow. So it's going to be the second half, which will conclude Olivier's story. Like, her background story, basically, let's see here, guys. So we're gonna go here. They're gonna be doing reruns for Beachside Justice Mikaela, Pool Party Angelica, and White Bolt Yuri. So if you didn't get them and you want them, they're gonna be rerunning. Okay. So rerun for them as well goes to August 13th. It starts July 30th. Okay. So basically today, where I'm actually making this video. So let's go take a look here, guys. Okay. So here she is, Apostle Olivia costume. And after the July 30 maintenance, which is going to be tonight, this is Olivier, and or should I say Callian in this case? This is Callian, as she goes by. Okay, so Apostle Olivier. So let's go take a look at her skills and maybe what type of team we can work around her with. So at Apostle Olivier at +0, we have her. Let's see, 2 SP points. Cooldown is 9 turns. Yes, guys, 9 turns. That is quite a lot, right? That is quite a lot. Preemptive action. So you have a 100% chance to evade enemy attacks until you successfully evade 2 times. Your magic attack is increased by 50% for 8 turns. So honestly, I had a feeling that they were gonna very much match how she was in the story when she was like a boss that you fought. So I had a feeling this was gonna be it. Now, when you're fighting her in the story, she evades for 10 times, right? Now, obviously, we can't be having her, we can't be having her evade 10 times, right? Because that'd be too overpowering, right? That'd be too OP. So they did it twice. Now, I feel like it could have been more, a little bit more, maybe like 4 turns. I mean, you look at Pool Party or Poolside Eustia, her summer, right? The limited. I believe she actually goes up to 4 when you level up her skill tree, if I believe. I don't have the game pulled up, so, but I believe she does. I believe she does. So let's go take a look more here. So +1, obviously, like I always say, always get. Oh, whoops, sorry. Always get a copy of her, or a copy because SP cost always goes down by 1. That's usually how it is, 90% of the time in Brown Dust 2. Okay, so it goes down by 1, so that's like literally 1. Okay, yeah, so 1, obviously. Okay, so when we go to +2, that's when we start to see a little bit of an increase with the magic attack here. It was increased by 56% for 8 turns. And then we go to +3. Okay, so +3, you get to evade 3 times. Okay, so not as much as Sacred Eustia's. Not Sacred Eustia, my god. Pool Eustia. Because like I said, I believe she does 4 times when you level up her skill tree. Okay, so we got 3 times now. At +4, her magic attack is increased to 62%, and then at +5, it's 68%. Okay. So, ooh, what's this here? It says evade 3 times, but then when you go to +4, it goes back to 2. Okay, so that's most likely a typo on their end. That's okay. The point is, +3 is where you get that evade, okay? Just know that. It's a little bit of a typo on there now, right here. They gotta fix that. Okay, so we look at the skill tree now. Magic attack percentages go up by, looks like altogether 12%. So that's a total of what? Math here. 80%. So that goes up to 80% then altogether. And then the magic attack buff duration is 2 turns. So it goes for 10 turns then. Okay. So, sorry, I hit my microphone. But, so what I'm seeing is you're going to be relying a lot on her basic attack, right? So here's the thing. So when we look at Olivier's Fallen Wings costume, the one that was first released, So when you activate that skill, right? Well, actually, no. Her basic attack in general, when you level it up, her skill tree goes up by a percentage. So technically, since Apostle Olivier or Callian here, um, she most likely is just going to be doing basic attacks right after her skill. Then that means, right? So that's going to be further enhanced as well, since technically you're activating also her, if you have her Fallen Wings Olivier costume, right? So then her basic attacks would just literally be destroying then at that point, right? Because magic attack has to just mean basic attack then in this case, correct? Unless you activate this first and then you do Olivier's second, right? Like her skill second for Fallen Wings if you haven't unlocked, that is, right? So this will increase it further, correct? Right? I should have brought, man, I should have had my game out. I should have had it out to look at this. But okay, so when you have it on the field, you would want to activate this one first, right? Because this will help with evading, when you're like getting ready to, use Olivier's Fallen Wing skill, which is absolutely destructive, by the way. So that's what you would want to do first. Then that means you want to do this one first, Apostle Olivier, and then you want to do Fallen Wings Olivier's. That is when you get the SP, you know what I mean, built, and then just activate the attack, right? Because her magic attack is increased by, well, if we're going to go, okay, so for the video's sake, we're going to say a +5, correct? I'm going to use this as an example. So, when you activate the skill first, her magic attack is going to be like 80% with the skill tree buff, right? And then the magic attack duration is going to be 10 turns. That's a lot of turns, by the way. Okay, so yeah, this is what you want to do then first. You want to activate her skill first, and then Olivier's Fallen Wings skill set after you accumulate enough SP points, where then you know her skill, where it like drains all the SP and turns each SP point per into a certain amount of damage, and then you just attack on like a wide range. Okay then. So in a lot of cases, she's very similar to Poolside Ustia. That means because Poolside Ustia does evasion for 4 turns with the skill buff, like the skill tree buffs, and then she also increases her attack. But it's not like 10 turns or 8 turns. It's like, how many turns is it again? I'm trying to do this by memory, guys. That's why like I needed the game open. I apologize. But it does like increase. I think it's like 4 turns, I believe. But yeah, so it's very, very similar to it, except Olivia does magic instead, So what do you guys think? You think this is a nice balance? I think it is. I think it is. I think they've actually balanced this out correctly. I think they did it. Because I feel like if they had because you already have like Fallen Wings Olivia, right? And she already does like an insane amount of damage. So I feel like the evasion is actually nice, especially if it's going by 3 times, right? Now, a lot of the times we're going to see cases where, you do have like other characters that, like if you're doing this in PvP mode, for example, a lot of like players have like characters that do multiple attacks at one time. So I could see her also being balanced out in PvP as well. You know what I mean? Now, having her and Ustia, not Sacred Ustia, but Ustia out on PvP mode, you could technically put them both out. But the thing is, when you have Olivia out, you're really only going to be doing basic attacks. And so you're going to be relying on basically how much magic attack is built on your Olivia, right? For like a single swing. Because you don't want to use Fallen Wings Olivia just because of that skill of hers. It's not actually for PvP, mind you. It's not. Because you drain all your SP. And that's like the one thing you never want to do in PvP is drain your SP. Okay? Because you need that. So yeah, I would rock her for PvP, Apostle Olivia, but I really wouldn't use Fallen Wings Olivia. If you're, in case you're wondering about that, that's how I would do it. I wouldn't do that. Like I wouldn't have Fallen Wings Olivier's skill actually activated, I would just have Apostle Olivier's. Now, mind you, the cooldown time is 9 turns, and that is actually quite a lot. I mean, that is a lot, actually. What am I talking about? That's a lot. You have to wait for. However, it could help. Now, if you watch me stream this over on my Twitch channel, I'm actually going to test this out because I did say I was going for Apostle Olivia or Callian. I was going for her. Right? Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to +5 her right off the bat. However, the thing is, okay, so where I would say the best for her would be at least +1 her if you're going for her, because you do want this SP cost to go down. Even though I do understand it's like a 9-turn cooldown and it doesn't change, it looks like. Um, you know, less SP points the better for activating skills. That's my motto on that. So I would at least get a +1 for her. Now, if you want to invest a little bit more and you want to go for it, I would go then +3 just because of the evade. You get that extra evasion. Okay, that's like 3 times, correct? So I would do that then, if that's the case. If you want to invest, +3 in her is a nice spot. So you're still getting the magic attack increase of 56%, right? Now, leveling up her skill tree, that goes up by 12%, correct? So that's, what? That's 68%. So that's not actually bad at all still, right? It's not bad. And 68% is the equivalent to what you would be doing at +5. So much like how Poolside Zenith was, or Pool Guardian Zenith was at, I believe it was +3. She is basically, when you level up the skill tree now, she's basically doing +5 type damage, basically. Zenith was very similar to this, by the way. That's why you didn't have to really highly invest with Zenith, because with Zenith, you could, I believe, +3 her, and then you could level up her skill tree, and then the skill tree, her I think it was the chain percentage, added up to the exact same as if you were to +5 her with the skill tree buff. So that's what I'm saying. So like this is still gonna balance out at +3, for example, right? And then it'll just be like 68%. You're still getting this at +5 regardless with the skill tree. Like that's only if you, mind you, invest with the skill tree. Okay, so you're still getting the +5 with this. Like, you know what I mean? Because 56% plus 12% is 68%, right? So yeah, you're still getting it. So yeah, +3 in her if you're investing. If you're not, I would at least just +1 her. Okay, that's how I look at that. Team wise, let me see. So team wise, if you're rocking the Fallen Wings Olivier, obviously I would just go with like Helena, B idle Helena, top idle Helena too as well, since now you need that SP increase. You know what I mean? For Fallen Wings Olivier's skill set, because it drains all SP, and like the more SP that's drained, the more damage Olivier does, right? For Fallen Wings now, okay? For Fallen Wings costume. Keep that in mind. But yeah, so definitely Helena. I mean, if you're going up a dark type or dark elemental type enemies or bosses, then obviously Deanna's adventurer costume would definitely be the one to go for. You can even use Raphethia, but the thing is, since, well, I don't know. I mean, Raphithia's new poolside one, it does have a lot of SP costs. That's the thing about it. It's like 7 SP, I believe. So that is a lot. However, it does increase the light elemental damage by a ton. So, like, if you rock, like, Deanna's and then poolside Raphithia's, right? It does do a lot of damage. On top of that, since Olivia is a light elemental type, like, her basic attacks would just go in even further, because she's also increasing her magic attack too as well. You know what I'm saying? So I would use poolside Raphethia in that case, but like I said, be very wary, because like her skill alone costs like 7 SP points. Okay, then what you could do afterwards, though, however, is how I see it, because like I actually use Allstein's the Fiend Scholar costume, in fact, because if you plus the Fiend Scholar costume, I would say, like, even +1ing it, you know, and you hit a group of enemies, right? It actually drains their SP points, and you can literally fill up your entire bar of SP. That's how it actually works. Like my Fiend Scholar Ulstein right now, he's actually at a +1, But like if I see a group of enemies, I drain the SP right from them. And now technically enemies in PvE they technically don't have an SP bar. But the thing is, when you're using Allstein, you're still gaining the SP. Okay, just keep that in mind. It still works the same way as it would in like say PvP. Okay, but anyway, so you're draining the enemy's SP, right? So you're like gaining your entire bar of SP back. And then that's why I said like I would use Ulstein in that case because of that. However, his cooldown time is like 5 turns, I believe, and it doesn't change no matter like how much you plus him um or his skill tree, I believe. Because I believe it just stays at 5 turns. And like I said, I wish I had the game out. I could like show you a little bit more, but keep that in mind. I mean, if you want to check for yourself, it's very easy. You just go into their character page and then you just look at the preview, and then you can see like what they would look like at +5 or something like that. So it's very easy to do in the game's menu. But yeah, so I would use Helena, I would use Allstein, Rafithia, um, Deanna. You know, if the situation calls for it, right? Um, And honestly, and I guess anyone that I mean, you could technically use a taunt type just to have enemies you know stay away from like I guess Olivia in that case when she's like when you're getting ready to use her skill next. I could see that being viable too. So like Grunhilder, Leckless's doll, Glacia's Alice costume. So like I could see them being used for that. But now that we have like Olivier's Apostle Olivier, where she can actually evade now, right, successfully 100% now with attacks, I don't really see that being viable. But you could do it. You could still do it. You could still do it. So, um, the evade doesn't like cool down. Like the evasion that she has on, it doesn't disappear for a certain amount of turns because it doesn't even say that. It's like literally you can have this on and she just wouldn't be targeted, right? Until like somebody targets her. Like let's just say, for example, if it gets to like 7 turns and she has this on still, like it'll still remain on her until like she's attacked. You know what I mean? So so yeah, there's no cooldown time with that, or turn based. Like it doesn't end for a certain amount of turns. It just stays on her until she's attacked, right? Okay, so that's my opinion about it. Obviously, I'm gonna test this out on my Twitch channel when I stream it. Obviously, I'm gonna be pulling for her and everything, so I'll test it out. Okay. But let's see here. Now we are gonna be having the rerun for. Oh wait a minute, hold up. Also, very important, I want to say Apostle Olivier's costume. It is gonna be in the Powder Hope shop. It even says it here because she is not a limited. So just like her Fallen Wings one, and then her last costume, which we'll be getting most likely, I'm gonna guess in September, which is gonna be the basically I call it her Valkyrie form, which is basically the one we had in Story Pack 18, the trial one. We're gonna be getting that one, I believe, in September, and then that'll be like the last costume for her, unless they decide to do I don't know like a like one of those character packs, new story character pack with like Olivier and like Ustia. Honestly, I would love to see that. I know we're getting off topic, but it was just something I wanted to say. I would love to see a new character pack with like Olivier, right? And then Ustia being in it. I mean, how many of us would want to see that? Honestly, let's be honest, guys. Of course, we would love to see that. So, like, if that were to ever happen, right, we could like get, but potentially, a new Olivier costume, just like how they have like with like Michaela's. Hers is in an alternate, timeline as well. So it's like, you know what I mean? That would be really cool to see. Honestly, I would be very happy with that. But let's look at the rerun for Beachside Michaela here. Now, I actually have her. She was the very first Michaela costume that was ever released, in fact, last year. She was on the banner for last summer, in fact, with Eclipse, Morphia, and then they did, obviously, the reruns for, like, Dalvi, Summer Ustia, Summer Therese, Summer Shada. I think Angelica too. They did a rerun of Angelica as well last year as well. So like yeah, they did a lot for the summer too last year, but not as big as this one. Like this anniversary was huge. Okay, this was a huge anniversary for her. But let's look at her. And obviously yeah, she is a bombshell to look at. I know she is. Okay, so so Beachside Justice Michaela. So At plus 0, she has an SP cost of 5, so that is quite a bit. That is quite a bit. However, her cooldown time is 1. So as always, plus 1, you see her SP cost goes down by 1 point. So that's 4 SP points then. Now, since she is very, very strong, this is just another example of how they had to balance her out in combat, right? Or in PvP mode. So she has a penalty where she actually consumes 80% of her HP. And she increases her magic, though, by like 200%. Now, obviously, this goes up. I'll show you guys this because I plus 5 my beachside Mikaela last year because, you know, I loved her a lot. So I went all out for her just like I did with Eclipse because I was like, that's happening, right? Okay, I was saying that. Okay, so if we look at her now. So at plus 2, let's see. Additionally deals magic damage to the enemy equal to 200% of your magic attack instead of 160. Okay. So at plus 3, it rises by 40%. Then another 40% at plus 4, so 280%. And then another 40% at plus 5. So for a total of 320% of your magic attack. Okay. Cooldown time for SP cost is 4 still. Skill potential now. So damage goes up by 40%. And then an extra damage. So that's a total of 80%. So altogether, and I'm assuming they mean the magic damage. So that's going to be 400% altogether. Okay? If you plus 5 her. And then for skill, instead of the range, now the range actually increases from like 3 blocks to 5 of them in a straight line too. So that's the entire field, by the way. So that's where her skills, the skill potential lies in. But it's really the damage that you want to look for with that. Okay? Now, safest for if you don't want to invest in her but you still want her. Obviously, I would always go with the plus 1. That's given. If you want to invest in her, I would suggest just going for a plus really 2 or 3 if you really wanted to. You don't technically have to go all out. You can like just, you know, over time plus 5 her because you're going to be like for sure like leveling up this skill tree, right? So that's like an extra 80%. So like really that would help in a lot of cases just regardless. So like if you plus 2 her, that's 280% there. Plus 3 in her, that is actually what? Yeah. At plus 3 again. This is the equivalent of plus 5 in her. So 320% at plus 3. So technically you're still at a level of a plus 5 upgrade. It's just that you're not getting the 400% yet because like she's at plus, because that's at plus 5. So yeah, at plus 3, if you want to invest in her, plus 2 or plus 3, I would say this is the best way of doing it. Okay, and then over time, you can either choose to get her in the Powder of Hope shop because she'll be there, and also the Golden Thread shop that they reset each month. Okay, so that's how I would do it. Team wise, Helena, obviously, we need to have more like magic buffers in the game. We really do. So like, because we're always relying on Helena, right? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like we just need more buffers with magic at this point. But yeah, so Helena. You can even use Elpis. Elpis increases magic attack percentage and crit damage too by 35%. I use Elpis still to this day, guys. I actually still do. So like you can use her as well. So Elpis, Helena, obviously. Terese you can use as well because Terese's skill. Medical Club, Terese, and also Beachside Terese if you unlocked her. Now, like I said before, my Twitch streams and my previous VODs, I did say that Beachside Terese is actually a costume that can be utilized in a lot of different combos for attacks. Well, not attacks, but team comps. Like she's used in everything basically. Now that's only if you like want to just basically one-shot enemies. She's basically the perfect supporter for you because of her augmentation ability. And since Mikaela also attacks, I think it's only twice, correct? Yeah, it's only like 2 times, I believe, that she attacks on the field. Because this is actually an attack that just is like instantly done. It's like Eclipse's basically her beachside one. It's just like let me see. Yeah, it's an attack of 2. So like because like Summer Terese's augmentation is the damage increases if it's a 5 chain or less. So yeah, Mikaela fits in that realm. Like I said, all of her costumes fit in that realm. In fact, just like Eclipse's, Levias. They all fit in that realm. Okay. So like I would have, like I said, either one of those costumes on the field with Beachside Mikaela. Um, and then depending on the situation, if you're going up against Dark Elementals, then obviously picking Rafithia would help in that case as well because of her skill ability of increasing light elemental damage, and then Deanna as well. So like yeah, so like I said, experiment with it, and also I'll be streaming it too over on my Twitch channel because I think they are going to be rerunning the summer event that was last year, which was Beachside Angel. And so I'm very, very much looking forward to that one again because I had a lot of fun with that last year too. Um, Now this time around, I can actually pass it. But last year I had some issues with it, but I can pass it definitely this time around. But yeah, so very excited, guys. That's the latest. There's nothing really else new. I did see in like the dev notes in the game that some things happened with their web shop, but it looks like they're gonna be fixing it. But not to worry about it, okay, guys. Don't worry if if you're not caught up in that. Um, but that was really about it. I saw. Other than that, we're just gonna have to now wait for September, and also, um, going back to their June live stream for their calendar, I did see Terese being rerun again, like having a second rerun, you know, next month in August. So if they're still running with that, that means if you didn't get Beachside Angel Terese yet and you still want her summer one, which I would still highly suggest you do, then you're gonna have another shot at it, okay? So do not worry if you did not have like either your tickets or gems, just save up for her, okay? Because then in that case, I would skip Olivier's here and just go for Terese's summer one because it is a limited, okay? It is a limited, so that's why I would suggest doing it. Callian or Olivier here isn't limited, so you can just get her in the Powder of Hope shop, okay? Or the Golden Thread shop and level her up that way. Selected draw. She's going to be in the selected draw as well, okay? So that's what all I got to say. So hope you guys enjoy the new update. Keep going, guys. We're still in summer. We're still in summer, so hope you guys are enjoying it and have a lot of fun with it, okay, guys? And until then, you all take care, stay safe and healthy, and I'll catch you all in the next Brown Dust 2 stream. Or video. And stream as well. But yeah, go check me out on my Twitch side. I do stream every single day. And like tonight, I'll be streaming again. So hope to see you there, okay? And you can follow my socials in my descriptions below. You can follow me on Twitter because I do post now a little bit more now on Twitter now. I post when I go live. I post what's updated, on my end. I post pictures of like the, Brown Dust 2, Nikkei, stuff like that still. Okay? But yeah, so I'll catch you on the next, guys. Take care. Have fun with it.